Good morning, it's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself. Today we are out walking and we're going to talk about symptoms. So, what do we do when we have overwhelming symptoms? Well, the first thing that we can't do is ignore them. So, a lot of people will say, try to ignore them. And over the last couple days, I hope that's not what you heard me say. It's impossible to ignore your symptoms, okay? These are facts. The facts are it's impossible to ignore your symptoms. Your body is giving them to you so that you can ignore them. And it's turning up the volume so that you have to pay attention because it's trying to give you danger signals in order to keep you safe. And you can't ignore those messages of safety. It's biologically impossible. All right, you also cannot change your symptoms. You cannot think them away. You cannot turn them down on your own. You cannot do anything to change them or fix them or make them go away. So willpower in trying to make them go away or using your mind to try to ignore them, neither of these tactics are going to work. They're just going to frustrate you and they are going to, sorry, I'm switching hands with my dogs. They are going to increase your fight or flight nervous system. They're going to make it so that you feel more stressed out, trying to ignore something that you can't ignore or trying to fix or change something or make it go away when you absolutely can't do. You cannot do either of those things. It's impossible. What you can do is notice the symptoms because you're going to anyway. Accept that you cannot change them. So we acknowledge that they're there. We accept that we cannot change them. And our power, when I talk about personal power, our power lies in our response to them, our reaction to them, right? How do we respond and react to them? Do we do it with complete terror and fear? Do we do it with sadness and hopelessness and victimhood and tears? Do we do it with anger and frustration? And all of those feelings are going to get your nervous system to stay in fight or flight. Now, I'm not saying ignore your feelings because, as you know, feeling your feelings is one of the most important things that you can do. And your body is actually giving you sensations, not symptoms. And those sensations are, in fact, feelings. You are feeling physical sensations in the body. And often those bring about feeling emotions. So we do need to be able to feel the emotions, but not get caught up in the emotions so that we lose hope or we fall into despair or we freak out with anger or whatever. Yes, we need to feel it and let it pass through us, but we don't want to hold on to those feelings and reactions, just like we don't want to hold on to the sensations of the symptoms. We want to acknowledge, know that we can't change, and respond and react by just allowing things to pass through us, to float through us. Now, I know this sounds weird and it's easier said than done. It's kind of a vague term. I get what I'm saying. But you acknowledge them, you feel the sensations, you feel the emotions that they bring, and you say, I see you. You almost step back like you're a third-party observer. You are the soul, you are the observer. You step out and you notice yourself feeling the feelings of the sensations, feeling the feelings of the emotions, and you're watching, you're witnessing, you're allowing, you're not interfering, and those will change. That's how we know sometimes our symptoms or our sensations will shift and change. They'll shift and change from maybe the stomach to the heart to the neck to the eyes, whatever it is, they will shift around. It will go from anxiety to pain to floaty feeling to dizziness to weird sensations to whatever it is, right? to fatigue, to, whatever your symptoms are. They will change and they will morph if you don't grab them. Same with your emotions. They will shift and they will morph around from sadness to anger to fear to exhaustion to hopelessness to this to that. But they don't stay unless you pinpoint your focus and get caught up, right? Get caught up in one particular sensation or one particular emotion and laser your focus on it and respond and react to it by either trying to make it go away or ignore it or change it, right? And not accept it. That's when we get stuck on that emotion or that sensation. So the key is to take our focus off, not ignore. We're not ignoring it. You cannot ignore that. That's impossible. We see it, but we take our laser focus on it and we become more general. Like, oh yes, I see you. I'm the observer. I'm just observing what I see. I notice you. I'm not going to make it a big deal though. And I'm not going to respond and react or try to fix and change or push down or change. Like, we're just noticing. We're the witnesser, more at a high level, right? So that's where your power lies. Your power lies in your response and your reaction. And as soon as you try to jump in there and not become the observer anymore, but become the doer of making it go away, the doer of ignoring it, the doer of fixing it, the doer of whatever it is, that's where you lose your power. Because you're not the doer. You're not the doer in this situation. You're the witnesser. And as the witnesser, you have power. Because if you don't respond and react by trying to fix, change, manipulate anything, deny, suppress, reject, turn away from, whatever it is that you're trying to do, then you have the power to just witness, to just watch, to just allow the sensations, the body sensations, and the emotion sensation and feelings to shift, morph, pass, and go through you. And by staying calm in a sympathetic state as the observer, right? The observer is never in fight or flight. The observer is peace and calm. And when we watch from that state, we train our body and our mind to settle, to say, oh, I'm giving her these terrible messages of danger and she's not reacting and responding in fight, or fear, or freeze. She's simply watching. She's simply going about her day. She's simply allowing this. Maybe we can turn down these signals. We can turn down these signals now. This is how it works. So it's never immediate. So if you're like, I'm going to be the observer today, and then by the end of the day you get super frustrated because it didn't work. That's you, again, laser focusing, trying to fix or change. We're not doing it to fix or change. We're not doing it to fix or change or make them go away. We're doing it. Our only reason for doing it is to calm the central nervous system. To train the central nervous system that it doesn't have to go into fight or flight. And eventually, over time, this is like training anything. It's like training a dog. It's like training anything. It works over time. It doesn't work immediately. The repetition, the continual messages of safety that your higher consciousness gives to your unconscious and gives to your body and gives to your emotions, says, I'm okay, I'm safe. And those messages over time, those responses and reaction change everything, but never immediately. So the result is change, but the reason we do it isn't to change it. The only reason we do anything, ever, when we're in recovery, is to calm ourselves down and to keep our body from going into fight and flight response, because that's where your power lies. So I just wanted to do a quick video on symptoms. Your power is in your response and your reaction. You can't ignore them. You cannot change them. You cannot fix them. You cannot make them go away, whether it's a symptom or an emotion or whatever. The only chance you have is to feel it, to allow it, to witness it fully from a state of calm and peace and allowing, and a nervous system that is in parasympathetic rather than sympathetic. This is how we change things. This is how they ultimately do change. It's not how we change it, but this is how changes happen. So it's sometimes slow, and it's frustrating for me, who's having overwhelming symptoms right now, 24/7, that won't let up, but I'm not going to respond and react and fall apart. I'm going to allow those feelings that I want to fall apart, but I'm just going to watch them, because I know from experience, from years and years of experience, I know I walked myself out of the worst symptoms and chronic illness that I think anyone's ever had. Honestly, I am not just saying that. I was 100% non-functional with over 200 symptoms in every aspect, physical, mental, emotional, all of it. And it took a long time to walk myself out because I didn't understand what I'm telling you right now. Okay, so yes, everything else is critical, doing your healing, getting on with life, right? Keep your nervous system turned down. Keep it out of fight or flight. Witness, allow, step back, observe, do not react and respond. Just notice, just allow, just feel. That is how we do it. It's a slow process, and it takes practice and it takes consistency. But your brain and body will eventually get the messages of safety that you're sending it. And I'm sorry you can't change or fix or ignore or turn these symptoms off no matter how bad you want. But the fighting and the trying is futile, and it will wear you out, it will exhaust you, and it will keep you in fight or flight much longer than you need to be. Take it from someone who knows. So I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.